We're gonna roll right into part 2 here. We ended the story in the last video with her name's not really Samantha, but that's what I'm gonna call her for all intents and purposes in this video. So I met the instructor, Samantha, and she was like really interested in my name and guessing what color I painted my walls, but I didn't paint my walls, and like just interested in my life. And I thought she was a very, very charismatic individual. Definitely gives like divine feminine energy, you know, that kind of like, and I think I saw her dark feminine today. But she's got that kind of quality, that divine spark that I sense in people. And for whatever reason, I couldn't remember her name the next time she came in. So she's like, Samantha, 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 Samantha. You'll remember her now. And so I haven't seen her since then. And she came in today and she was like, oh, hey, how's it going, guys? And I was like, Samantha, right? And, you know, I was like half kidding because like it really did take me a second to remember. But like I dramatized it because I thought it would be funny. And it was one of those moments that like spirit kind of guides in a way. You know, like you don't necessarily know why you react a certain way, but there's always a reason for it later. And she flipped that energy on me. She was like, yeah, that's it. And I swear to God, I saw the hips shake harder, the shoulders start swagging. Like, I'm telling you, like dark feminine model walk started happening. And I'm sitting there like, oh, I actually upset her. Like, she's mad. And it's not funny because I actually did remember her name. It really did take me a second, but like I didn't have to pause as long as I did and make it sound like I forgot. So, you know, I get it. Maybe I did fuck that up. But I was just talking in the video that we just ended about how like there were certain interactions today where I was questioning whether I did the right thing. And this is one of those situations where I was sitting there wondering, like, did I mess that up? Because, you know, Spirit's got your own way of communicating if you make a wrong turn or if there's a reaction that you weren't supposed to have. If you did the wrong thing. And I've been thinking about whether that was the right thing to do. Maybe I just thought she would think it was funny and it wasn't. Maybe Spirit wanted me to see that side of her. Confirmation. Because I always like to see the whole individual, not just one part. And her just like anybody else, especially if she is a chosen one. Oop, divine feminine, twin flame, divine counterpart. Not for me, clearly. Whatever it might be, one of us, a catalyst, earth angel. Then I should see all sides of her. Spirit wants me to see all sides of her. So, I think that's why that went down the way it did. But there was some part of me that was like, was I an asshole? You know? Like, I'm not always not an asshole, you know what I mean? Sometimes I fuck up, say the wrong thing. Try not to. I've gotten way better at it the last 2 years. But there are some times, like I was just saying in the last video, that Spirit literally wants you to say the thing that's going to piss somebody off or trigger them. And like you can tell it, you can feel it in your body, the difference. Well, the water's like dripping down my arm and into my armpit and down my side and into my leg. Ah, that's uncomfortable. I'm going to have to change before I work out now. This is the problem I'm having with hanging plants because like my hose leaks a little bit. So like when gravity's doing its thing, it's coming right down the arm. Maybe that's a sign or something in the lesson. Energy trickling, flowing, growing, distributing. When we trigger somebody in that way, that's ego, right? If she was upset that I didn't remember her name in her mind, she's going to assume that I think I'm more important, or that I don't care, or that I don't put in effort, right? And it's not true. I'm just bad at names. Even at Starbucks, I would always remember people's names, but it took me a while. They would have to come in a couple times, and I'd remember their drink before their name. And I'm decent with the customers here because their name pops up when I type in their number. But the instructors, at least 80% of them, I see maybe once a week, and I don't remember their names. And like, it's kind of an unfair advantage because everybody's heard about me. And that, I don't mean that to sound arrogant or cocky or anything. It means when you get hired and your name is Dragonfly, the entire building's talking about it. So they all know who I am. But I don't know who all of them are. I know the ones that work on my shifts. But that might be something I should put more energy and attention into. Learning the people that I don't spend time with. Maybe that is a respect thing. Maybe I do owe her that little bit of effort. And maybe an apology. I do like her. It was awkward though, because the first time we met, she was like asking me for an explanation on my name, and I wasn't going to tell her. I was going to give her the runaround that I gave the other dude. It was actually the same day I met that other guy, the guy that just told me about his wife and the divorce and all that from the previous videos. He asked me that morning, and then she asked me later that day, and I didn't tell either of them. I said, oh, it's a long story, and I did not say anything further. And she was like, well, you have a middle name, right? And I said, yep, but I saved that for the 5th date. And I don't know why I said that to her, because I'm gay, mostly. And I wasn't interested, even though she is beautiful. Like, I didn't mean it like that. And so immediately I'm like, I was just kidding. Like, that's not a thing, because I'm thinking like sexual harassment charges and like making her uncomfortable and blah, 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 blah. And I realized that she didn't know about my sexuality. We just met. So it's not like she could even like just have that under her belt. And I couldn't very well be like, oh, I'll tell you that on the 5th date. And then be like, oh, wait, I'm gay. You know, so I stuck my entire foot in my mouth that day. And I didn't explain anything. I still don't think she knows I'm gay. So she probably even has, you know how like some guys will mess up your name on purpose, or like they'll say something mean and that'll be flirting. And I wonder if she thinks that's how I am, and I'm not. Again, one of those situations where Spirit might be intentionally having me be misunderstood through circumstance. And maybe it's on me to rectify that, but I also have gotten away from over-explaining myself. I've gotten to a point in my life where I pretty much just let people think whatever they're going to think with whatever Spirit gives them. And I have not been explaining myself or defending their perception or incorrect perception of me. And, you know, maybe it's kind of my fault this time. But that's just how it happened. So those were the interactions I had today that made me think, like, did I respond right? And I don't think that I responded wrong necessarily. But I do think Spirit wanted to trigger these guys, to get them thinking in a way that maybe they weren't before. Because if that's a test of her self-worth, then I know, I can feel that she loves herself. I can feel her confidence. I can feel her righteous anger at being mistreated. I know that she's not the type of person that needs to be triggered into loving themselves. So that makes me a test for her. Will she feel triggered and stand in her power, stand in her worth, and